Hi, Stephen Barnes here with Firedance. As you know, I'm on my way to Atlanta today, and actually tomorrow. It'll be today when you see this in all likelihood. Today I'm recording this on the 3rd and on the 4th, which is usually the day, the Friday, usually the day for our Fire Dance meetings. Tananarive and I will be on our way to celebrate our father's 90th birthday celebration. I hope that I can be excused for considering that to be primary. You know, family comes first. But you guys are my family too. And I wanted to be sure that you had something to keep you thinking. That I really appreciate the momentum that we're building, and I do not want to place that at risk at all. So, what I thought we'd do today is talk about principles that are foundational to magic, and one of those is modeling. Okay, it's the M in magic. So I wrote an essay, and I will riff off of it, but I wanted to kind of talk to you about it. Let's see. One way to approach Think and Grow Rich, the pattern that you can see right behind me, is to memorize the steps and see if you can run through them in your mind as you drift off to sleep, for instance, or write them down in order. You look for where you make your first error, and that might well be the first break in your flow. You know, if you start with passion, and you have to have that driving desire, and then you have to have faith that you can do it. If you don't have that faith, then you need to do the internal work, and most people have problems right there. We've talked about that. But Think and Grow Rich isn't the only pattern that I find really valuable and really useful. Another pattern that I absolutely love and highly recommend are the high performance six habits identified by Brendan Burchard in what he claims was to be the largest psychological study on success ever made. I cannot verify that. I can verify that the six principles that he discusses are just excellent, and that I include them in my morning ritual every day. I will say all the blank I need is within me now, and I chant this aloud as I conclude the Tai Chi form. This is by the end of it, and I really let myself feel it. So I thought that I'd go over them in brief order. Let's see what I'm going to do here is let me share the screen so I can go over these one at a time. Let's see. Share the screen, and there we go. All right. So, the first step is clarity. First of the six of the high performance six is clarity. Now, clarity means knowing where you are, what the situation is, what it is you're trying to accomplish, what the steps are that will get you there. You know, those are the kinds of things that are included in the concept of clarity. Clarity is also protection against various emotions. My solution to fear in the martial arts was to determine that it wasn't fear that was my problem. It was lack of clarity. A gentleman named Terry Leteau told me that, and then he gave me the glitter in water exercise that we've discussed at other times in order to gain that clarity. And what I saw then was that the fear that I was experiencing was simply an emotion. It wasn't a good thing, a bad thing, a negative thing. It didn't say anything about me. It just was there. I mean, the fear is basically your body mind preparing you for action. And when you look at it that way and you don't get attached to it, let alone demonize yourself for having a human emotion, you're ahead of the game. Now, the gaining of clarity in connection with anything that you want to accomplish in your life is one of the high performance six, and it's something that you should aim at. The greatest amount of clarity possible about where you are, what it is that you're doing, and what it's going to take you to get there. All right, so that's the first one. The second one is energy. Now, Energy is really critical. Now, we're talking about your energy on a daily basis. Energy is necessary for breaking bad habits. You know, this expression that fatigue makes cowards of us all, really, really important. So raising our energy is one of the best and simplest, most direct goals that you can possibly have. How can you raise your energy? Well, there are four basic component parts. There's exercise, rest, proper diet, and focus, the intention, your goal. Okay. So in other words, you can, if exercise is one of the things that increases energy by either goosing up the metabolic engines in your cells themselves, the mitochondrial engines, or, for instance, by improving the ratio of body fat to muscle, improving it so that you are strong relative to your weight. You can work on efficiency of motion, so you're not wasting as much of your energy, so you're moving more efficiently and effectively. All those things exercise can influence. Reducing resistance, reducing body tension. Yoga, one of the things that's great about yoga is that releasing the tension in your body means your tight muscles aren't fighting you in the same way. This is a good thing. That's exercise. Diet is a more complex subject, and I don't want to go too far into it right now, but in general, the diet that seems to operate best for producing energy is some variation on 3 parts fresh fruit and vegetables to 2 parts complex carbohydrates to 1 part lean proteins with very little fats, salts, and sugars. Now, that's very general, and we do need fats in our body, and a little bit of sugar is all right. But in general, the fruits and vegetables are providing nutrients, the carbohydrates are providing fuel, and the proteins are providing building blocks. So if you look at your food, your food intake, and ask and say, I want to learn to eat for greater energy, then you will start your research with that. What can I do to increase my energy in my daily life? That's a good reason to eat. The worst reason to eat is I'm in a bad mood, I'm going to stuff my face. I think that we all do that at times, or certainly most of us do. But ask yourself, is that what you want? Is that going to get you where you're trying to go? In general, no, it's not. But plenty of people do it, and they fall into that trap. And they will eat to stuff their emotions, and then they will deal with the emotions that come from shame and guilt about having eaten that quart of ice cream, half-gallon of ice cream, that tub of mashed potatoes. You, if your goal is an important part of energy, then that just implies that our emotions are important too. We'll get back to that, but eating today for how you want to feel tomorrow or how you want to feel in 2 days, very, very important. In fact, with all these things, all the things that have to do with energy, your time lag between cause and effect might be a day or two. So it's very good to journal and keep track of what you're doing, how you're sleeping, what you're eating, how you're moving, and then how it feels, not just that day, but the day after and the day after that. Start keeping track of these things. This is critical. So, rest, sleep. It's amazing how many people, it's the fourth thing. Remember, we've got exercise, we've got food, we've got rest. It's amazing how many people get fewer than 6 hours of sleep a night. And I personally think that you should aim at 8 hours. Some people need a little less than that. Some people need a little more, but it's right in that ballpark. Your sleep time should be a time for your body to completely relax, completely heal. becomes stronger. Your body does not grow stronger when you exercise, for instance. It grows stronger when you rest. So if you exercise in order to increase your energy or increase your muscle mass or whatever, the quality of your sleep, the quality of the food is going to be critical. You're trying to raise your energy level. You're telling your body that you want it to operate at a higher level of performance. This is how you do it. 8 hours sleep a night. There are things that have to do with the temperature in your bedroom, kind of cool. Things that have to do with how much light is in your bedroom, the sounds in your bedroom, when you turn off the television, when you stop reading, how do you wind down for sleep? Let's just say that being able to sleep deeply is a critical aspect of your performance. If you push yourself, you have to then set yourself up to recover afterwards. And sleep is it. I, there are courses that teach you how to survive on less sleep. I personally think you're burning the candle at both ends and you're going to pay for it down the road. So it would be much better to just learn how to get the rest that you need in order to thrive. Much, much better. All right, so clarity and then energy. Those are the first two principles of the high performance six. And then we have urgency. Clarity, energy, urgency. Now, urgency means that sense of, I have to do it. I have to do it now. It is that sense that tomorrow isn't good enough. It's so easy to postpone the things that we do. It's always easier to do it tomorrow. But when tomorrow starts becoming next week, next month, and never, become aware of the pattern. Is this what you do when you have something to do and you say, I'll do it later? Did you do it? If you did it, then fine. That's just fine. But if you notice that you're not doing it, like for instance, let's relate this to writing. Clarity. You want to write at least one story per month, right? That means you need to write at least one sentence per day. Energy. It takes energy. You have to feel like you have the energy to do it. That thing about, fatigue making cowards of us all. The flip side of that is energy makes heroes of us all. And we are programming you to be the hero in the adventure of your lifetime, right? Urgency. That sense that you must produce the text. You have to keep your career going. That there is a staying speed, a pace of action that you have to sustain over time in order to reach your goals. Now, this is really important because let's say that your personal plane, imagine that your plane, its takeoff speed is 100 miles an hour. You can taxi at 99 miles per hour forever and never get off the ground. But when you understand that just a 1 or 2% improvement, suddenly you're in the air, then you can feel that sense of, I don't want to taxi forever. I want to get in the air. I want to fly. And you remember that life is finite, that you don't have forever to be able to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. You have to kind of say, memento mori, thou art mortal. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make changes. I'm going to achieve my goals. I'm going to support my family. I'm going to publish that book. Whatever it is, you have to feel that you do it today. You have to feel like you have to do this. If you don't feel any urgency about it, you'll just put it off and put it off and put it off. And one day you'll look up and your life will be over. Happens to people all the time. So this is, once again, this is Brendan Burchard's High Performance 6. He's a great coach, wrote a wonderful book on high performance habits. He does a lot of good teaching. He's one of the people that I would recommend to you to take a look into. Productivity. Productivity. Now notice clarity, energy, and urgency have to do with your sense within yourself. Productivity is the beginning of the three that relate to the outside world. You have to do the work. You have to write the pages. You have to read the books. You have to do the research. You have to build the team. You have to do things. There is a certain amount of stuff you have to do so that you are accelerating at 101 miles per hour instead of 99 miles per hour. so that you can take off, so that you can fly. What is it that you need to do, produce overall and on a weekly basis in order to stay on track? This is important stuff. And you need to know this. You need to have a sense. The ideal is to apply these things to the tasks that you have in mind, the things that you want to do. So clarity, energy, urgency, and productivity. The next one is influence. Now, influence is interesting because it's marketing, it's sales, it's customer satisfaction, it's team management, it's any number of different things. It's also the ability to influence yourself to do the things that are necessary to stay on track. So, influence means the ability to get someone to do something. Customers to look at your product, buy your product. Employees to serve the customers well, show up on time, etc., etc. And yourself to do the things that you said you were going to do when you said you were going to do them. Your ability to influence yourself is directly connected to your ability to influence anybody else. If you can't discipline yourself, you don't really have the right to ask other people to be disciplined. This especially relates to your children. And the last one is courage. Now, courage is the ability to take action in spite of fear. It's also, in spite of fatigue. You feel like you just don't want to do it. You can't do it. But you have the courage to keep going. You have the courage to stand up. That's could also be looked at as a form of endurance, emotional endurance, the ability to keep going. You take the hits and you keep going. You take the hits and you keep going. But one of the things that is true is that if your goals are transformative, a point will come where you feel as if you keep doing this thing, you're going to die. You're going to change. And because your ego thinks it's you, anytime you do something that is large enough to create a generative change, you're going to have discomfort. So you need courage to go through that. You need courage to speak your truth. You need courage to not be influenced by the people who say you can't do it. What does it take to take actions even against resistance? It takes courage. What does it take to induce your employees to work for you at the highest level? It takes influence. What does it take to create the products or the skills that you're going to offer? Because there's products and services, right? It takes productivity. What does it take to get off your butt and take action? It takes urgency. What does it take to have the energy to keep going? Well, it takes energy. Let's not use the same word twice. What does it take to have the power to keep going? It takes energy. You need to be able to wake up in the morning feeling energetic, work hard all day long, and I say work hard during the week and party on the weekend. And what does it take to understand where you are and what you need to accomplish? It takes clarity. So you have clarity, energy, urgency, productivity, influence, and courage. None of these things are innate. The first three relate to you. The second three relate to your influence over the outside world, to a degree, or your reaction to the outside world. The nice thing about the High Performance 6 is that if you work on any of them, they have a positive influence on the rest of them. You don't concentrate on the ones that you're already good at. Give yourself a score on the scale of 0 to 9, 0 to 5, and rate yourself in each of these arenas. You're best off if you work on the one that is your weak point. If you create a magic formula grid where you apply, mapper, model, mentor, action, gratitude, intention, and core alignment, and you look at what it is you need to do in order to accomplish your goal, you map it out on the magic formula. Great, fantastic. You're automatically ahead of the game. But if you want to get further ahead of the game, you take that same task. And now you say, how much clarity do I need? And do I have clarity? How much energy do I need? Do I need to increase my energy? How much urgency do I need? Do I feel like I can put this off? Or is this something I need to do now? How much level of productivity do I need to have on a daily basis? How much influence do I need to tell an editor to buy my book, or to convince myself to do the work every day, or to convince my writing circle to read it and give me feedback, whatever that is? You should have a sense of what that is. How much courage do I need? Now, if you scale yourself from 0 to 9 on something like courage, you take a look at your life and you say, I had the courage to stand up here. Maybe I didn't have it over here. What am I going to need for this? And you deliberately work to strengthen your weak spots. If you do this, you're getting used to finding patterns that will assist you in becoming who and what it is that you want to be, who and what it is that you need to be. And this is always a positive thing. I probably have 24 different models that I move between, probably a half a dozen that I move between regularly. And being able to shift between models, to look at a project and say, let me apply the high performance 6. Let me apply the magic formula. Let me apply Musashi Miyamoto. Let me apply Think and Grow Rich. Whatever it is that you're doing, every time you shift perspective, you will see your project in a different way. You'll see different things, and you will have different ideas. That's what I wanted to give you today. As I'm winging my way to Atlanta, I wanted you to have a piece of something to take home with you, so that when we meet again next week, hopefully you'll take a look at this and we'll talk about it again. And I would love for you to take a look at whatever it is that you want to create in your life. Remember, you want a goal in terms of your body, one in terms of your emotions, and one in terms of your career. And apply these things. Start getting a sense. I strongly suggest that you read the book, High Performance Habits by Brendan Burchard. I don't get a dime from recommending that to you. I enjoy recommending other teachers to you because it's critical. It's absolutely critical that you create your own path in life. I can only point out the path that has worked for me. You're going to, no matter how far along that path you walk, you're eventually going to walk on another path. And by studying other teachers, you are doing yourself a real favor in that sense. All right, so that's what I wanted to say to you today. That's really all I wanted to say, and I hope that this has been useful to you. I'm glad that you were on the mailing list so that I could send you the link to this. Remember, this is Stephen Barnes. It's stephenbarneslist.com. Stephen-barnes.com is my website. And we're just going to celebrate family. And we hope that you will celebrate with us by taking better and better care of yourself every day. That 1% change will get you anywhere you want to go. Take care. Bye bye.